What nobody tells you about living below your means. Poverty. Poverty. No one tells you about living below your means is poverty. Hello, my name is Oliver and welcome to episode 62 of the Daily Upload series, where I'm uploading every single day for the first 100 days of 2026. Today is what nobody tells you about living below your means. Now, to be completely transparent with you, I have been homeless. I have had jobs which have paid well. Currently, in my position, I am unemployed, pretty much, and I'm raising a child full time. That is my current situation as of recording this video. So, where do I sit on it? Am I living below my means? Absolutely, 100% I'm living below my means. I started investing when I was homeless, when I was 18 years old, and I'm lucky to have a bit in the stock market. So I could use that money and probably spend all of it on a cruise. I don't know. But I've got enough to get by, right? I'm doing okay. Now, I am living below my means completely. I have the value stuff in the fridge and I shop at the extremely cheap shops absolutely everywhere because, honestly, even though I've got a little bit of money set aside, it's nothing major. It's not a house deposit. It's not anything near that. But I do have it there. And sometimes I think, you know what, I could just go and buy a nicer car. I could just go and spend it. I want to go on holiday. I want to go back to New Zealand. I've been itching for that for a while. Why not just spend it? Why not just go to New Zealand? Why not take that trip to Australia that I'm planning to do hopefully this year? I really want to make it to Australia. Meant to be going to America as well at some point. And I want to do all this stuff. And it's like, I've got this money. I could use it. I could use this money. That's stupid. That's stupid, right? A lot of people who live below their means, who go and shop at cheap shops, they feel embarrassed, I think. I think a lot of people feel embarrassed with living below your means because one of the big aspects of it is lifestyle inflation, is what I'm trying to get at. I have this bit of money and lifestyle inflation does come with that. You want to get nicer things. You want to get things, yada, yada, yada. I don't have nice things. I don't buy anything these days at all. Literally the only thing I buy is food and fuel for my car. I don't buy anything else. I've had this jumper, 3 years? I mean, it's a solid jumper to be fair, but I got this in a sale. So it is what it is. Lots of things that I own, I don't pay a lot for. I really don't. It's like everything I've got is pretty cheap actually, and that's okay because I am living below my means, and okay, granted, I don't have the biggest income at the moment, that's perfectly fine, but I do have the savings, and if you want to be successful and you want to be a millionaire, you have to consecutively build up your savings and you have to invest correctly, and I say that a lot, you've got to diverse your portfolio, you've got to have lots of investments. I'm investing like 60 odd different companies at the moment, little bits here and there, but they pay dividends, and I reinvest the dividends automatically, and I'm trying to build up good money, basically. I'm trying to build up something that hopefully one day I will be a millionaire on. Absolutely. But if I go and spend it on a car, or I go and spend it on a holiday, do you know how many years it's going to take me to get that back? See, lifestyle inflation, it's a joke. I'm sorry, but it is. Lifestyle inflation sounds great. I guess it does. It sounds great. I've stayed at hostels costing £1 before. And I've been lucky enough to stay in the Hilton Hotel. Okay, I paid £40 for that because I used someone who works there's account details. They put me on the friends and family. I stayed in a hotel once. I got paid to do this. I was really, really happy about it. I did a talk on stage when I was like 19, 20 years old. And I got put in a hotel, and the hotel was like £350 a night. It was absolutely astonishing, right? And it had overpriced bottles of water, and in the breakfast thing, it had like apple juice, right? I have apple juice in my fridge that I picked up for 89p. It tastes exactly the same. Lifestyle inflation's a joke. Okay, it would be nicer to stay in a nicer hotel every now and again, sure, but realistically, what am I paying for? Okay, you might have a little bit of a nicer mattress. Oh, and the cupboards look a bit different. It's got different carpet, but the walls are still probably white, and you've probably still got the same size TV anyway, and you've still got a bathroom that works. Okay, it's apple and oranges, it's Hilton Hotel and Travel Lodge, I've stayed in both, I've stayed in I've probably stayed in Travelodge probably for more than a year of my life, to be honest with you. And I don't have an issue with it. I don't have an issue with living below my means, but living below your means isn't staying in hotels. I've had to when I was homeless or when I'm travelling because it's cheaper than it. I've been able to get nights for like £20 a night and stuff, so it's been alright when I've been doing that. But living below your means, no one talks about how the lifestyle inflation, and it is effective. It is. It's like Avios points, I guess. I don't know if you guys collect Avios points. I do on a couple of different credit cards. I spend on credit cards, pay them off, collect Avios points, and it's great. I love it. I have so many thousands of Avios points. It's mental. I've used them once, and I flew to London for £17 because it was cheaper than driving. I did a day trip to London, and it was cheaper to fly than it was to drive, so I did that. So I flew both ways for 30 quid or something. You know, I've got these points, and I could go and be like, okay, I could go on a trip to Australia, right? And I do want to get to Australia this year, and I've got the points sitting there, right? It's like, maybe I could just go to business. Maybe I could just go to first class. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to, you got the points. It's not much more, really. Only 600 quid. I paid 400 return to New Zealand. It's crazy. I guess it's just having the finer things in life. Like, as I said, when I did that trip to London and back, I said a minute ago, I was in first class. Crazy, isn't it? I got free upgrade, right? First class. I sat in first class on a plane of 10 people on British Airways on a flight that took 30 minutes. And I was fed champagne and all sorts of random stuff. I was just like, okay, yeah, mate, why not, right? This is the life, it's a cheap old flight. And the guy next to me, who was like the row over, I was having a chat with him. He owns a farm like 20 miles away from me, and he was like, I spent £300 on this flight. I'm just like, that's mental, right? And so I guess you pay a bit more for the lifestyle inflation because you want the finer things in life. And no one tells you that about living below your means. You wouldn't think that, would you, how lifestyle inflation has an effect, but it does, because living below your means you are living on the budget of life completely. If you do want to travel, you should be taking your £5 flights, like I've done many times. You should be buying the cheapest foods and the cheapest drinks. You should be, the cheapest stuff you possibly can. Live well below your means and invest and save everything else. And then when you've got the chunk of change there, you're like, I could upgrade something. I could go and buy something a bit nicer. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been a victim of it completely. I bought a MacBook. Stupid of me, to be honest with you. It's a good computer, and I'll keep it for 10 years. So I see it as an investment to myself. But I could have gone and spent 500 quid on a laptop. My mum was like, no, get this. And my friend Matt was like, no, you got to get this. And so if I'm going to get that, I need the 1 terabyte minimum. I've only got like 80 gig space left on it at the moment. What no one tells you about living below your means is the anticipation of lifestyle inflation. Just because you've got the money doesn't mean you should spend it, basically. And that's kind of the roundabout of this video. I know I have rambled on a bit, so I really do apologise, but I also appreciate you for watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed it. Again, I'm really not the richest person in the world. Far, 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 far from it. I couldn't even afford to buy a property. I couldn't even afford to put a deposit down in the north of England. I don't have money, but I've got enough to support myself, I guess. And I guess it's nice to just have an emergency fund, I guess. It's nice to have a bit there. Adios, my mis amigos. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. Please make sure to click the like button, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification, and let me know in the comments below if you've been a victim of lifestyle inflation, if you've ever overpaid on anything, and do you live below your means? Because honestly, I do, and I like getting free stuff. I've got like 36 free yogurts in the fridge at the moment, and it's great. Goodbye.